But yeah, back to it. We was talking about, what was we talking about? Oh, we was talking about, let me explain. So we're assuming that you have put an offer in for a home and your offer is accepted. Now the biggest thing that you do want to do, you already have your paperwork in order. Did I skip over that? I think I might have skipped over that. So let's go back. Have your paperwork in order. What you want to do, and we're going to combine those two. Make sure when you're doing your pre-qualification and you're putting in an application with your lender. So we're going to back up a little bit. When you're putting in your offer with your lender, make sure you have all of your paperwork ready to go. What do we mean by all of your paperwork? Because we ain't got time to be looking for stuff. So pay stubs, bank statements, W-2s, all forms of ID, passport, social security card, driver's license, any other IDs that you have, state IDs that can be used for stuff like this, and make sure you have it. Any other proof of income, proof of employment, student loan information if you have student loans, car payments, any big payments, anything you're making large payments on, make sure you have all of that stuff in order, because I promise you, they're gonna want to roll. They're gonna want to get the ball rolling, and you don't want to have to stop and, oh, let me spend 3 days, let me spend a week trying to gather up information that you should have already had in the beginning. And so fast forward back, now we're back at the, they've accepted your loan. What you do want to do is stay on top of your due dates. Depending on who your lender is, depending on who your realtor is, they might provide you with emails about your due dates and things of that nature and when things are due. But if they don't, in the event that they don't, my realtor was very nice and very on top of her stuff, because the lenders and the underwriters and the loan officers and everybody else, they was just kind of like, they're kind of in a tizzy right now because it's a seller's market and people are buying up homes left and right. So they don't have time to help you keep up with your due dates. So keep up with your due dates for things like, when do you need to have your earnest money in by? When do you need to have an inspector come out? What is due to your lenders? When and how many days or how many hours do you need to turn in something? Make sure you turn it in when it's due. When is the appraisal happening? Do you need any other documents? And how long before you close should you do any wire transfers? If you have to do any wire transfers, when do you need the money? Do you have all the money that you're going to need to close? Make sure you keep up with those dates, because if you don't, then it'll just end up pushing your closing date back, and Lord forbid, but I'm sure it probably has happened, you might end up losing out on your house if you don't. And even more and even worse, to lose out on the house, and lose out on any earnest money that you put in is absolutely terrible. We don't want that. The last thing is that if you're buying a home, do understand that even if it's, from what my realtor told me, even if it's a brand new home, even if it's it was built specifically for you, the house is not going to be perfect. It might not look like how they said it would look on the pictures, even if it's just the trim is slightly different. Or, if you're buying, especially if you're buying a home that was already built, it has already had previous owners, don't expect every little detail to be perfect. Like, you have to really weigh the pros and the cons and what's worth it and what's worth the fight and what's not worth the fight. Like, if you have, for instance, I bought a home, and there were certain things that the owners were supposed to fix, and then there were certain things like on the outside that the homeowners, they didn't need fixing, but like the landscaping needed to be kind of, groomed a little bit more. I don't even know if groomed is a word, but they needed to like cut down some trees basically and some shrubberies that was like growing on the house. They didn't do the best of jobs, but they did enough for me to be able to come in there with my little weed whacker and finish the rest. I could have held off, and holding off would have pushed back my closing date, but it just was not worth it. Like, in the end, it wasn't worth it. Getting leaves out of the gutter. Yeah, they were supposed to do that, and they did it half-ass, but most of it is gone. I can work with that. You need to make sure that, you know, whatever is left undone, you can work with. If you cannot work with it and you are able to risk pushing your closing date back, then, you know, put your foot down and keep it down on their necks. But, you know, understand, you know, every situation is not going to be perfect. Even if you're having your home built, and make sure that you know, are okay with what's left when they hand you your keys. Other than that, I don't really have this. I said this was going to be short. I'm lying. I'm lying. This is not short. But I hope that those general overall tips will help you to make sure that you kind of get to the closing table a little bit faster and a little smoother instead of having to go through all kind of bumps. Every situation is going to be different, but if you make sure you're preparing yourself as much as you can, you should be able to get through this pretty smoothly. Closing in 30 days, my realtor told me it's going to be up just like that. She ain't never lied. I was like, ooh, 30 days is so far away. I can't wait to close on my house. And then next thing you know, it was like, girl, you need this, 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 and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And we need it today. And I looked up and was like, Lord have mercy, closing this next week. Lord have mercy, closing this in 2 days. And now, you know, I closed today and it came up so much quicker than I ever imagined. So if you like this video, comment, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the flip side. Bye.